I'm not Brian. This is Brian. Hey, this is Brian Buccellato, and I'm Derek Easley from Gamefob.com, and we're at the amazing Arizona Con. Good to see you, Brian.
How's it going?
He's just about to pack up. He's had a hard weekend working and talking to a lot of fans here, but he was nice enough to hold on 1 second just to talk to us. So, Brian, how'd the con go for you?
It went very well. Lots of lovely people. I did tons of sketches, met some great people, sold some comics. It was a great time.
And where are you from originally?
Grew up in New York. I live in LA.
Okay, cool. So we've seen you before at some LA and Long Beach cons, right?
Probably all of them, yeah.
Awesome. So what is it about Arizona? What sets this con apart from other cons?
It's 6 hours away from my home. That's probably the first one. It's just a different, it's a different crowd of people. Every con is unique in its own way. It has its own crowd. This crowd seemed to be really big on sketches and less so on prints. So it was unique in that way. But, all cons are great because all fans are pretty much, they're cool people, so.
Yeah, we love the STCCs and the New York cons, but what's cool about these cons, like you get to kind of network and talk to people on a smaller scale. So how's everything going with Flash?
It's going great. Francis Manipul and I are going strong. We're heading into our almost the end of our second year, and we've got more stuff planned. Reverse Flash is getting ready to make his first appearance in New 52, and he's going to cause some problems for Barry.
So, you also worked on an independent book that you put out yourself called Foster. Can you tell us about that experience?
Absolutely. It's self-published, and it's been really great. It's tough to do because I do everything myself. I do all the fulfillment and all the minutia. So I'm really going to wrap it up with issue 6, which will be out next month. And it's not permanently done, but I'm going to sort of reevaluate how I go forward because it's just so much work that it's hard for me to do it on my own.
Very cool. And you have a new book coming out. You were telling me off camera, right?
Dynamite is putting out a book called The Black Bat, and that's it's sort of a reimagining of a classic pulp hero from the 30s. He's sort of he's a little bit like Batman, like Daredevil. Historically, he's one of those guys. He's got guns and he's sort of old school, and I'm bringing a new slant to him, and I'm steering him away from Batman and Daredevil, and I've got a take on him that hopefully people will like.
Very cool, very cool. Now, I'm sorry to offend any fans out there, but I'm a DC guy. I prefer DC over Marvel. Now, you've been part of something very exciting and historic with the DC New 52 stuff, but you've also been very ingrained into the indie world. So can you just give us a little bit of insight on how it is to self-publish and do your own stuff and then work with IDW and then also do stuff for one of the big two?
Well, I think when you're self-publishing, obviously you have carte blanche. So the vision that comes out is your vision, but it's very difficult to get that vision out when you're self-publishing because there's just so much you have to deal with. One of the great things about working for a company, whether it's a small company like IDW or Boom, not that they're small, but I guess comparatively to DC or Marvel, is that there's people who do that stuff for you. And there's also editors and people who you can go to for sort of creative advice and stuff like that. When you're self-publishing, you need to really be sure about what you're doing because you're going at it alone. But there's incredible freedom in that. The downside, I guess, of working for the big two or other companies is that you have a lot of other people you have to answer to, and that's just true in any medium. When someone's paying you to do work, you have to answer them. That's just life. And so, I guess trying to get your vision out and be creative. It's more of a challenge, and I like to call it creative problem solving because it could be you're told to do something in 2 issues, you're told to bring in a certain character, and so you just got to find the coolest and best way to tell that story under the circumstances that you're given. So it's challenging and it's fun and it's different. So.
I work in the film industry, and I can relate on a level where when I work on indie film, and I'm the master of my own craft, and then when you go to studio stuff, one of my filmmaking mentors years ago said it's art by committee, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's very similar. I think actually comics are more like TV because it's monthly publishing, so you got to get one out. I think one of the great things in television is that because they only have a couple of weeks to get an episode out, there's not enough time for all the people above to weigh in as much and meddle, as much as they in a film. It takes 1 to 2 years, and and there's all that development time. So you have all the executives and VPs and everybody, is just weighing in on story. And a lot of times it goes so far away from the original creator's vision that we end up with bad movies. So I think I prefer television nowadays for that reason specifically.
There's a lot of great cable content and premium cable content where it seems like the creators have more freedom to tell interesting stories nowadays.
Absolutely.
So tell us about Flash real quick. Why is Flash an attractive character? What about him do you find interesting? And during your run, what's one of your favorite things that have happened so far?
Well, he has beautiful blue eyes, so that makes him very attractive. Like Kyle Higgins over here. Can you move that camera so we can get a look at Kyle Higgins' dreamy blue eyes?
Dreamy. We just had a guest appearance for Kyle Higgins' eyes.
You know what? What I really, really like about Barry Allen is that he's one of the most honorable and good people in all of comics. He does what's right because it's the right thing. He's not haunted. He's not driven by demons. He's a guy who got a power and he has to run. He knows he has to run because of the Speed Force. He's using up Speed Force energy that if it wasn't used up, it would cause problems. So he has a responsibility, but he also knows that I've got this gift and I'm going to use it for good because I want to, because it's the right thing to do. So I just think he's a very honorable dude, and he's not tortured, where I think a lot of heroes have so much of them. And I love that stuff too, but I think he's a little different. So I think he's sort of a fresh... it's funny, he's a fresh change, but heroes all used to be like that.
So Barry's a great character.
I think he is. I think he's pretty awesome. I think he stands, for what is good, and we all see it. So, yeah.
Cool. All right, and have you been approached yet for Foster or your new property at all to be in any type of other media like television or film?
Interestingly, I just wrote a pilot that my manager is going to send out next month. So, fingers crossed, maybe something will happen. I do have some sort of affinity for film and television and screenwriting, so
very cool.
See what happens.
Best of luck for that, and we'll promote you any way we can.
Sounds good.
So what's your website?
BrianBooch.com, BrianBooch.com. Check it out.
Check them out. Thank you so much.